Centuries ago, famed mathematician Katherine Johnson wrote, "The whole idea of going into space was new and daring. There were no textbooks, so we had to write them." Now, the United Federation of Planets stands on a new brink of exploration and learning, yet again pushing beyond the bounds of contemporary understanding, and for a new dawn proclaim proudly once again, these are the Voyages of.
And welcome back to the Voyages of. Here on Rook and Rasp, we'll be following the story of the USS Serenitatis as it continues its mission to explore the Gamma Quadrant. We are using the Star Trek Adventures RPG rules from Modifius, and as a reminder, we are in no way affiliated with Modifius. We just really enjoy their game. I'm Matt, and I'm here running the game tonight. Joining me is John Kennedy as Lieutenant Commander Charlie. We've got Roxanne Thompson as Lieutenant Aishan Hoth.
Ayo.
And Danny Delisle as Lieutenant Rosrin Irax. And we're going to go ahead and get right into the story. We're going to start with the captain's log. Normally these are a little beforehand, but there have been some changes. We're going to get back to that. Don't worry.
We're gonna get there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Captain's log. Dr. Haskins has ordered shore leave for several of our crew members, and runabout has been dispatched to Ryza. While I remember quite a few good times on Ryza, one of my bridge officers is going under heavy suggestion from the good doctor, and not of his own interest in relaxation on a beautiful planet. I do find it novel every time junior officers really sink their teeth into their duties, and you have to pry them away from their consoles. He will learn, just like we all had to. So, you guys, there are a group of like 12 of you. The others are all junior officers at Minkler. Just kind of people that were involved in the search and have been involved in a lot of the other adventures, but kind of in like secondary and tertiary forms. They're the ones that were around, but not necessarily named. So everybody's there with you as you pop out of warp. Victor, I assume you're flying the craft.
Absolutely.
And pull into a stationary orbit above Ryza. There are several ships above the planet. Several Federation ships, some non-military Federation ships, just like transports. And then there are a couple of Romulan and Klingon ships as well, which is not unheard of. Ryza is, while very Federation, has been very open since the end of the Dominion War to other empires, I guess. That's the word we're going to use. I assume the three of you go ahead and beam down?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Fantastic.
Would leave. Oh, yes, Charlie.
Question. It's Ryza in shore leave. Are we going in our uniforms or are we going in vacation clothes?
That's a good question. That's a question each of you needs to answer. Minkler is in the loudest Hawaiian shirt you have ever seen in your entire life. And like cargo pants that are like 4 colors. Like each pocket is kind of split by in half with a color on each side, and he could not be louder with what he is wearing.
Nice. Victra has arrived in Starfleet uniform, just in case there are ranking Starfleet people there, as a half Deltan, and knowing full well and good that I have had to swear an oath of celibacy to be a member of Starfleet. I do not wish them to think that I'm on the prowl, as it were, regardless of whether or not I actually am.
Rosrin is not in uniform because he couldn't get away with it, but somehow he still looks like he's in uniform. If that makes sense. It's still plain colors. It's like crisp pleats, on his pants, extremely well tailored, all of that sort of thing. And he still, of course, carries himself like he's still in uniform.
Charlie is apparently giving Winkler some competition because Charlie is, I'm going to describe this for our audience. Have you ever seen the movie Rango?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Charlie's wearing the Hawaiian shirt from the very beginning of the movie, and a little, thatch on top of his head. So he's there to relax and have a good time.
Lovely.
Fantastic. So as the dozen of you beam down, you are greeted immediately with, by attendants there, kind of given information on where you're staying. All you that has already been transferred to you. They take your bags and just kind of let you be. I would like everybody to give me a roll, though. Let me pull up the silly sheets so I can remember what I want you to roll. Let's have you roll presence and insight and half presence. That's what we're gonna do.
Ooh, okay.
Insight and half presence?
Yes.
Yep. Is that rounding up or down?
Down.
Cool.
Alrighty.
I like that mechanic.
Yeah, you mentioned it before the books were out, as though you had some sort of sneak peek. But no, it is a really good mechanic for non-specific discipline roles. I'm sorry, this is not a set number that you're trying to individually get or anything. There's no momentum that will be gained from this. It's just more of a what do you notice around you.
Ooh.
I got a 6.
So you got 6 successes?
Well, that was what I rolled. So
Oh.
Is it a success? Okay, there we go.
Okay. Did you
Yeah.
you still rolled the 2 dice though? So did you roll both the dice?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's a normal roll. It's just a different stat read.
Oh, okay. All right, I got 2 successes then. I rolled success both times. When
And
you
I
said
did
not a real number, I was like, not like a set number. I kind of
Yeah, no, I get it. I
misplaced
get it.
Instead of meaning
Oh,
like how
yeah,
many
no.
successes.
There's just not a number of successes you're going for.
All right, I got.
I see nothing but myself.
Fantastic. Which is great because the 2 characters that came over on the runabout, or came to the Serenitis, the most recent of the 3 of you. Notice there are also Cardassians in the crowd. There's like 2 of them milling about and talking. One of them looks very familiar.
Oh no. Do I
What?
recognize them? Does
Yeah,
Rosalind
it's
know?
one of the Cardassians from the Bajoran settlement that were sent back to Cardassia, like that were transported back to
Oh.
Cardassia. Yeah,
I was there for that. Yeah.
are
Rosalind
you a
was
little
there for
paranoid
all.
there? Are you paranoid?
Look, you're sending me here to relax, and there are Cardassians here. Like, I don't know
I
whose
mean, they're
bright
welcome.
idea this was.
They're welcome to be here.
Well, and they're welcome to my suspicious stare too. So, you know.
Sure, Cardassians would advise that. Cardassians are naturally suspicious. They consider it a cultural trait. That's something you have in common with them.
The dirtiest of dirty looks for Charlie.
Charlie's gonna realize his mistake and be like, I get our bags.
I mean, he has a point, Roz. It is a. I mean, maybe you've got a Cardassian somewhere in the bloodline. Have we checked?
As you guys are kind
Whatever.
of standing there taking in the crowd and acclimating to the planet, it is a perfect 75 degrees, which Charlie, maybe not perfect for you, but that sun is warm and it's beating on you pretty solidly, so that's nice. Clouds are in the sky, but they're nice fluffy, no rain clouds. Everybody's given an eye. There's a lot of eyebrow raising and not quite winking going on from everyone, including some of the people that recognize that you are that you're a Deltan, Victra.
Nice. I acknowledge their acknowledgement. Try to keep myself looking as though I'm unaffected. If a Deltan is good at anything, it's aloofness. Like a cat.
I need you to make that your new saying is, if a Deltan is good at anything, and then just whatever you want to put in there, just keep.
Whatever it is.
If Deltan is good at anything, it's flying a ship. If a Deltan is good at anything.
Right. I mean, it's there's an anime. I don't watch a lot of anime, but I do remember in Black Butler that the butler is always like, any butler that's worth his salt, and just rattles off some crap. Yeah, that'll be my new. That'll be my new thing.
Can be a value. You can put it in your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in your value.
Absolutely.
So, you guys kind of disperse through the crowd. Are you staying together? Minkler's already off. He ran like a rabbit. He's got things to do and people to see. The other crew have kind of. The other crew
I was just gonna say that. Stop in my head. Stop.
The other officers have kind of wandered away from you. The three of you are senior officers, and I think I want to, because I don't think Roxy really grabbed the concept that we were going. You guys are the senior crew. Everybody in your department reports to you. So Roxy, you've got people above your rank reporting to you because you're in charge.
That's one of the problems with my issues with rank is that they put me in charge of some of these people.
Right. So but the junior officers just kind of disperse. No hard feelings, but junior officers and senior officers don't always mingle that much. Okay. Except Minkler, because everybody has to watch him.
I look at my companions as we are still together for the moment, and I'm like, look at them run away, like they couldn't wait to just. I don't know about y'all, but I am a fun, chief con officer. I don't see why they I'm gonna go find Minkler, and I'm gonna give that man a drink.
He's probably going off to waste his time. I mean, of all the things you could do on Risa, why in the world would you go to a beach? Just saying, there's all the many archaeological ruins, there's the Risen Science Exposium. You just go there.
I think I heard one of your lieutenants, Charlie, talking about doing a study on seashells on the beach because they don't have them where they are. So I mean, it is a possibility.
It's true. That's Ensign Sue. Oh, you got out of my way. Don't need to go into the joke any further.
There
So you are you really tracking Minkler down? I'm good with that.
I in a bit. I'm like, so I assume we're all staying in the same place.
Yeah, the building they put you in is kind of central to several beaches. They have transportation around the island. They don't use a lot of transporters, but they use a lot of open air hovercraft to move you around if you'd like to. But the whole planet is pretty much open to you.
Okay.
It just so happens that you beam down to the building you're going to be on or going to be in.
Sure. I would, I think we should just let's go put our stuff in our rooms.
So
And
your
then
stuff has been taken. And
oh,
it is like this is. I imagine Rice as
full
like the most
service.
all-inclusive
Disney.
resort ever. Like
Yeah,
you just show up and everything's done.
Yeah, it's like Disney because Disney does
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And when the wheel on my luggage is just set haphazardly on top of my luggage because it broke sometime before it got to the room, they'll buy me a new bag. So, but Victor's at least. I'm going to look around and say, I would at least. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to change into my casual uniform with the nice belt sash across my waist with my sideways comm badge. So just if y'all are going to be around, I'll probably catch up with you later. But I have to get out of this turtleneck.
Being pleased when he was an ensign in Starfleet, did he show up wearing his dress uniform anyways because he just wanted to? I'm just curious. This is not a Gary questions, just curious.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I assume everybody has their communicators on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Victor, as you head back to your room, can I get a presence command roll from you? It's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay, 1 second. Well, Matt, I got 1 success and a complication.
Fantastic. Oh, as a reminder, because I didn't say this on screen yet, complications are 8, 19, and 20 tonight because mingling with people when you're supposed to be officers is difficult. Like that's my reasoning.
And
It's
when
also-
you're awkward.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
which goes for
listen.
all of us.
my complication range is like an 11 to 20 then.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's perfect. As you're kind of turning a corner, so is another person, and you run smack into them, spill their drink, and that's when you look up and recognize Takei, a Vulcan captain who used to teach piloting and used to think that you are not only concerning with the level of danger you were willing to put the ship in, but that your maneuvers were sloppy.
Oh, so Matt woke up and chose violence today. We're
We're
He says-
supposed to be relaxing. Cardassians and crappy teachers are not relaxing.
I appreciate your you saying that it's a crappy teacher.
Yeah,
That
no,
it's
no,
not
listen.
me.
He looks down and looks at your pips, and he says, "Lieutenant," and then like kind of brushes at his shirt.
Please, Captain, I apologize for spilling your drink. I clearly wasn't looking. I would hate for you to look sloppy. Let me help you with that.
That's quite okay, Lieutenant. I've come to expect your turns to be a little less than thought out.
You know, I would have thought you to be watching where you were going since you always have your nose up somebody's ass.
Just out of curiosity, do we hear this?
You know what? Why don't we get?
Did you guys come up? Did you guys go to the rooms?
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, they're off a bit. He looks down at you and he says, "I hope you enjoy your time on Risa," and like kind of side steps around you, in the stiffest way possible. And you're right. He, like, as any good Vulcan instructor he had a stick far, far, far up him. And yeah.
And as he departs, I do stop and I remember what Marzon told me last time when I was on Trill, and I turn around and I say, "I apologize, sir. I just got here and I am trying to do better, and I apologize for running into you and for saying such rude things.
He does that Spock like eyebrow
Fascinating.
and says, "Interesting. It's good to see when students learn. Enjoy your time, Victra."
And I wait for him to turn around, and I'm like,
And then you're like,
How dare he wish me a good time? How dare he? How
it wasn't
dare.
the wishing me a good time. It was he just had to get
was
that
the-
last word in.
It was the massive aggression.
um,
Yeah.
so he is he's the captain of one of the larger ships, and now that you've seen him, you realize that the USS Concord is in orbit. It's a Constellation class. It's been refit though several times. It's one of the few Constellation classes that is out of space dock after the Dominion War.
Okay.
He kept it pretty solid and running pretty well during that time. But yeah, you realize that now that if he's here, some of his crew is here, like his whole ship is here. So just something to keep in mind. Nothing terrible.
Do I know anybody on his ship, perhaps?
Yeah, there's probably people you went to class with, scattered. I mean, there's people in your years scattered throughout the fleet.
Okay.
And just like a lot of people were moved up in rank very quickly during the war, and there was a reason you weren't. For some reason, you just got kind of held back a little bit. Definitely
Yeah,
didn't have anything
no
to
reason. I bet Takei pegged or not. I'm not gonna say that. I bet Takei tagged his favorite student to be like his chief officer on the Concorde, and I just know that person, whomever they are, is here somewhere.
do.
And great. This vacation just took a turn. And I go to my room.
Yeah, you go back and go onto your room. Charlie and Roswin, what are you two doing?
Roswin is going to at least make the most of his time. He has several interesting Federation law treatises from his friend the Magistrate on Bolian that he is going to go over so he can craft a stunning argument in his favor. That's his intention.
Okay. And Charlie, are you also going to be boring?
Charlie is remembering that the reason he dressed in this elaborate human is so that he can, relax and conduct his own scientific study. He is going to try to enjoy himself the way other species do. But he's not really feeling hanging out with humans or anything. So he's going to go and introduce himself to the Cardassians.
Fantastic. Yeah, you head over to where the two Cardassians are not together. They have kind of mingled apart. One of them is sitting and talking with a human and a couple Bolians, and they're just chatting nicely. All have drinks. As you approach, they all kind of smile and look up. He says, and as you recognize the other guy. This one you also recognize now that you're close enough. You don't remember his name because you weren't really introduced, but and you weren't on that. No, you weren't on that mission. He stands up and he says, "Oh, this is Commander Charlie of the Serenitis. The Serenitis saved us from our predicament. It's good to see you, Commander."
It's good to see you as well. Do you mind if I join you for a drink?
Oh, absolutely. And he motions, and one of the waiters comes over with like several drinks to choose from, and he has just been kind of circling groups and hands you whichever one you want to take.
Is there a Kanar on this tray?
Yes, because there's a Cardassian here.
Then Charlie takes the Kanar.
Okay. The Cardassian kind of nods at you and says that's an interesting choice for a non-Cardassian. Have you had Kanar before?
I have not, but I figure, well, on Risa, I should try new things.
That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. So we were just discussing some of the new engine upgrades that have come out for civilian consumption for smaller ships. I don't know how much you're familiar with some of the availability on the markets.
You mean in some of the independently designed warp modifications?
That and things that have been declassified from Romulans or Klingons. It's things that we can now get our hands on that I'm sure are several generations behind what your ship is running.
While Starfleet does try to incorporate the most modern designs, I can safely say that I'm one of the most foremost minds in the Federation on subspace fields.
Really? Can you roll? Call it. We'll call it reason and science, with a focus in warp field dynamics. Your target is 3 here to see how much you're going to impress him.
Oh, I'm gonna so impress him.
I'm gonna impress his pants off.
You there are 4 momentum to spend if you want to buy a die.
Absolutely, yeah. Feel free.
I will buy a die, and I'm going to use cautious with science, so I can
Nice.
reroll one of these d20s.
Fantastic.
Rerolling that one. 4.
4, fantastic. So that puts you back at 4. Yeah, the two of you start talking. He clearly knows his engines and his warp field dynamics. So do the Booleans. The Booleans give off this. You've spent some time around Hux, but they give off even more of this like love of engines, love of a warp field, love of a warp core. You know that in Boolean culture, being born near a warp core is considered good luck, and they both hint at the idea that they were. And so, like, the group of you have a good conversation. The human clearly is outside of his sphere of knowledge, but he chimes in when he can, and enjoys his drink and just sits there and doesn't seem all that upset. The Cardassian goes through a couple of glasses of Kanar. Not in a fast fashion, but definitely faster than you would have if you were just drinking to enjoy the flavor.
Charlie is going to just try. He's gonna sip his Kanar, and
Sure.
He's probably savoring it, like he enjoys it. But he's also, he wants to try new things. Vomiting is not one of them. Plus, I think we previously established that like alcohol in excess quantities is bad for Saurians, so we're not going to go down that route.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you guys sit and talk for a little while. He really does know his stuff, and he seems very impressed by you. And after some time has passed, says, Commander, it has been quite a pleasure talking with you. I don't think I ever introduced myself. I am Moham Edik. I have some plans for dinner tonight that I'm going to head to, but I will keep an eye out for you, and I'd love to get some more of your thoughts on warfield dynamics if you have time.
So let's do that. Try to stay warm. I know it's quite chilly today.
The sun has been good enough. I spent enough time with the Bajorans. I'm used to being a little chilly.
I'm around a lot of humans. I totally understand. They don't even like rocks, which is weird. They don't place rocks around the ship to retain heat. Can you believe that?
Laying out on my rock on Cardassia used to be one of my favorite things. I was very sad to see that my home had been destroyed during the war. It was a good rock, smooth, and it had just enough of a divot so that as I laid into it, I could kind of slide in and kind of fit,
That's truly a tragedy, and Charlie's internally panicking because he doesn't know how to respond to that. But it's like, sorry, you lost your rock.
You lost a rock.
So,
hey, good sleeping rocks are hard to find, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of wanders off, and as he goes, the others of the group kind of split, leaving you kind of on your own again. We're gonna switch over to Rosrin. You're sitting there, on the beach on a lounge chair with your data pads? Is that what
Yeah.
you're doing? Yeah.
And he looks like a dermatologist. Like he's covered because, like, sun and
Yeah.
all that and stuff. And he's out there only because he needs to tell Dr. Haskins that he was actually out there among people.
Right.
If he asked
Right.
me
Right.
to talk to them, he said, "Well, that wasn't a requirement." But like, I was around other people. Okay,
I
like
swear. I swear.
I swear, I was with other people.
So you, as you kind of hang out there and read, you notice that there are several people kind of out on the beach playing in the water, or they're playing some sort of sport with this net and these rackets and this little like ball with a net behind it. It's real small though. They keep calling it a birdie.
Aw.
So,
A shuttlecock, thank you.
oh, it's a shuttle. I'm sorry.
Two of Victor's favorite words. Sorry, I'm not there.
Wow. Was not prepared for that. Thanks,
Victor's
Roxy.
favorite words. Keys and shuttles.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
Sorry.
As you're kind of
You are not.
as you're reading through, a Bajoran man, uh, in maybe his late 20s, kind of comes and sits near you, not next to you, because you have moved your seat over to be by yourself, clearly
Right.
isolating yourself so you can read.
Yes.
He says, he leans over politely and says, "It's always nice to read out on a beach, get the sun, enjoy a good story, right?"
And he will rattle off exactly what he's reading, which is not a story, but some like huge treatise on some very specific, ubiquitous part of Federation law.
And he kind of blinks at you a couple of times. He says, "Okay, um, okay. I'm not sure. You can call me Criel.
Rosrin Irex.
I assume that you're an officer within the Federation."
Yes, I serve on the USS Serenitis.
It's Serenus is one of the big ships, isn't it?
He's like keeps trying to go back to his book, and every time
Like I serve on the Serenitis. Yeah, it's a big ship.
Yeah, like, come on. Yeah, and he'll rattle off like what class it is and everything like that. How many people it has on it. All that. Just the basic stuff that you would probably, know.
It's a
About
lot of
it.
that is a lot of ship. Yeah, that's quite impressive. How long have you been serving in Starfleet?
Yeah, he'll rattle off how long. I think it's like 5 years, something like that.
One of the waiters comes by and he grabs a drink and he motions for you to grab one too.
Dr. Haskins in his head has his voice of like, come on.
Yeah.
He just wants to be able to tell truthfully that he tried, okay? For a few minutes, he tried, so he will take a drink. The most uncomplicated looking one.
Sure,
Like
sure,
the most
sure.
simple looking drink.
Sure. He says, "So you're a member of security, I assume? Reading something that thorough on law."
I'm the chief of security on the USS Serenitis.
Oh, you're incredibly young for that. That's impressive.
Well, the war pushed us all to grow up.
I heard that that it did the same on my planet just before that. Wow. Well, yeah, I appreciate your service. So, have you have you noticed the Cardassians here?
That gets his attention. Like, yes, I have.
Can I get you to roll insight and security for me? Difficulty is going to be a 2.
Absolutely.
Difficulty is 2. Oh, you changed your sheet. You updated your sheet. I don't know about your focuses because I don't know. You told me, but it was also while I was working today, and everything went
Martial
out my head.
arts strategy. I have martial arts strategies, shipboard tactical systems, hand phasers, Starfleet protocol, and triage as my
Yeah,
focus.
none of those really apply. But
All
yeah,
right.
go ahead and do insight and security.
I'll do my
If-
2. Okay.
Yeah.
I will take 2 successes.
Fantastic,
And I
that's what we
rolled
needed.
my security. I don't
Yeah,
know, but I didn't.
none of the
focus,
focuses apply. So,
yeah.
so that'd be your 2
2.
successes. He is not on the up and up with this. He is pointing you towards them.
All right. All right.
Now, that could be that Bajorans hate Cardassians, some of them, or it could be that Bajorans hate Cardassians, and he's just causing a problem to cause a problem. Who knows? Do you want to try and talk with him for a little bit longer to get an information out of him? That way?
Yeah, he's gonna try to subtly, bring up, yes, I found it interesting that, that they're here. Maybe try to subtly ask about,
Sure.
why he's bringing that up to him of all people.
Why don't we do a presence and security? We're gonna make it a difficulty of 1.
All right. See, nada,
Oh,
nothing.
okay,
No 19s,
Whoops.
right?
Nope, I got a 17 and a 16.
okay. So you talk with him for a little while. The information or his reasoning doesn't seem to come out very clearly in the conversation. He talks about a lot of things. He talks about what he's doing on the moon of Risa, or the moon of the moon of Bajor, where he settled, and how he's been working on art there, and it's very exciting. And he's been to Deep Space Nine. He thinks it's a very interesting piece of Cardassian trash. He very clearly doesn't like Cardassian architecture, and thinks that Bajoran architecture is far superior. And frankly, he might be right. At least from his perspective, he definitely is right. But you guys talk for a few, and he does make it clear that he thinks the Cardassians are up to no good, that they shouldn't be on Risa, and something weird is going on.
Okay. But not specifically what. I just get that sense. Okay. Sweet. Alright. Interesting.
Sorry. Whew.
You all right, bud?
Yeah. Just. Whew. Yeah.
Coughing?
Yep. Just after effects of life. So yeah, after a little while, he kind of shakes his book at you, like in a nice way, and he says, I'm gonna let you get back to reading. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time, but if you wanted to get dinner sometime while you're here, I'd be more than happy to.
Rosman will agree. He'll say, of course. Because he's interested to see what this guy's up to. So it's like, if... yeah.
Poor
So
guy.
tomorrow night, there's actually a really, really good Romulan restaurant. Have you had Romulan food before?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a really good Romulan restaurant. It's kind of over on the other side of the planet, but it's only about half an hour on the high-speed hover train.
Probably spicy and boring.
Well then, shall I
It's the
meet
kind
you
of food
there?
that stabs you in the back in the middle of eating it.
Oh, yeah. Keeps Rosner on his toes. That's why he likes it.
Exactly. So yeah, so why don't we meet there? They've got some wonderful beaches over there. There's a couple of mountains that when the sun sets, it is incredible.
Rosman has no idea if he's being hit on or not. It like doesn't enter his mind, but he's thinking information. So
Sure,
if he
sure.
is, it's all right. He's just kind of treating it like whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, he's
Uh,
you there then.
yeah. So, Victra, you have changed. What now?
Yes. Now that I'm super cash and ready to get on the town or the planet or the beach or whatever I'm at. Yeah, I'm going to look for anyone wearing that skimpy little outfit that Picard was wearing when he went to his little terry cloth shorts and
In his chest hair shirt.
yeah, no, Victor would laugh at anybody wearing that. I just had to mention it. No, yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs or out, and I am going to kind of keep an eye out and see if I see anybody I know, whether it's one of my underlings or if it's Minkler, or anyone else really. I'm just gonna kind of walk around, get a beverage, and see what transpires.
Why don't we get another insight and presence, or insight and half presence?
All right.
Difficulty. There's no difficulty. This is more of a how much do you
Pass
see?
fail. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, happily, let's see. 9 plus 4 is 13. Well, I got a 13 and a 1, so
3. Yeah,
three.
that's pretty solid. Yeah. So you notice a couple of the junior officers. A couple of them are like dancing out on the beach with some other people from Ryza. One of them is kind of snuggled up with a Ryzen worker. They've got a weird statue with them. Who knows what that's about? A couple of them are drinking and like talking and laughing with some Klingons, and there's a lot of like heavy, hard back padding, but nothing dangerous seems to be going on. The Klingons seem to be just enjoying themselves, and they're not in armor, which is weird to see. Dr. Haskins is the only Klingon you think you've ever seen that was not in armor.
And
so
he's not even fully Klingon shaped.
right,
either.
right. So these are like big hulking guys, just in like weird terry cloth robes, and then like
Heffing it up. Okay.
parachute pants, but like solid color parachute pants.
Nice.
So you don't see Minkler. You do see a couple Deltons off in the distance.
Avoid those guys.
And then you see the captain that you ran into earlier kind of with a couple other Vulcans, clearly in a deep discussion about what you can only imagine is the subject ever.
It's just boring.
It'd be like a law treatise on something obscure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Victra takes that in and like the thought that enters her head is Roswin would be right at home at that table. I just
Throwing shade, not even in this scene.
Yeah, I take note of the Deltans, but being that I don't have good memories of Delta 4, so and I have hair, so I'm kind of an outcast Deltan. My human side is a little visible in that regard. So I'm gonna avoid them because I don't need to hear about it. Plus, my dad being like this great musician and people on Delta love his stuff. I just I don't want to go over there.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's fair.
I'm gonna I see the other officers and like the youngers, and I'm like, you know what? Let them have their thing. I'm gonna saunter over to the bar and get a drink.
Remind me,
and,
what kind of music does your dad play?
I don't think we ever said.
Okay.
The joke
So
was.
you hear someone doing a cover of one of his songs at the bar.
Oh, like a guy's got like an acoustic lute and he's just chilling out over there, like with his case open. But he's clearly been scheduled by the bar manager. What do they look like? Do they look like
They are
what do they look
dressed.
like?
They're dressed in appropriate Deltan clothes, but it's like a
Oh, Deltan
Bolian, a Bajoran, and a human.
Okay.
Like it's not. They're trying to emulate your dad and his style without being Deltan.
Without being my dad and having
Yeah.
his style. Okay.
They're not
I'm-
terrible.
I'm gonna buy a drink. I'm gonna move down to the end of the bar closest to where they are, and I'm gonna listen. And maybe halfway through this drink, here, let me see something. Yeah, halfway through this drink, I'm gonna kind of harmonize
Okay.
and tap my toe.
So are you really getting into the music then?
Yeah, a little bit. I will say I like this song. And I assume he's not only playing my dad's stuff, but maybe he is.
Oh
And if
no,
that's
he's
the case-
only playing your dad's stuff. It is clearly they clearly hired the Beatles cover band of your dad.
Nice. Okay, so this is like instead of Federo, it is like Fedora.
Yeah,
Fedora Hoth. Okay, cool.
You feel a presence sit down next to you as you're kind of watching the band. You kind of swiveled your bar stool just a little bit. You feel a presence sit down kind of next to you, behind you a little bit, and you hear a Cardassian voice say, "Lieutenant Asian Hoth." And
Oh, go ahead.
and as you turn, it's the Cardassian you recognized earlier.
Did I recognize one earlier?
You did, or no, you didn't.
Okay.
No, you
I
absolutely
didn't see
did not.
anybody.
No.
I know that there are Cardassians here because Rosrin got kind of his hackles up, so I knew that, but that was the extent of it.
You turn and you do recognize him now. He's one of the men you helped get off that planet.
Okay, is this the same one that was talking to Charlie earlier?
No, different one.
Okay. Oh. Apologies. I'm not great with names. What was yours?
I don't know that we were officially introduced. We were going through a rough time. I spent a lot more time with your doctor, Haskins. My name is Tran.
Well,
I wanted to say thank you. I buy you a drink, but your society doesn't use money, so I'm not quite sure how to express my gratitude.
well, you know what, Tran? You are free to join me and listen to this this musician, and I look at the musician and make sure that he can hear. That is doing a pretty acceptable job of covering Federo Hoth's greatest hits.
Hoth is your last name, isn't it?
One of them, yes, and yes, it's my dad. But
And
I say that much quieter.
Yeah, yeah. That's so you're listening to kind of a strange echo of your dad then.
Yeah. Strange Echo is a pretty good representation. But it's fine. It's what's here, and he's doing a good job. So I'm just enjoying a drink. It's my first night. Please sit if you'd like. You can repay me with conversation.
Fantastic. You guys talk for a couple of minutes. Can you give me an insight security roll? Difficulty is going to be 2. Yeah, none of your stuff applies to it. You're a pilot. If a Delta is good at anything, it's at picking up on stuff.
That's right. Well, just following in my own footsteps, and if Delton is good at anything, it's rolling a complication. So I rolled 1 success and 1 complication. So how hot is this Cardassian, and how drunk am I?
I don't think you're that drunk. One, because they're serving synthahol.
Okay.
Unless you ask for alcohol, they serve synthahol, which means that you can be drunk and then not be because you choose not to be.
Yeah.
It's a weird rule.
It's a weird
Star Trek.
thing.
I love Star Trek's weird rules where it's like, and you just ignore it. It's cool.
Never.
And he is not attractive, but what you notice
No, he's probably not.
as it hits your lap, a pad was slid across the bar to you, and he was not at all smooth with it. It hits your lap, and before you can grab it, it hits the ground and makes. You know when you don't want something to make a loud noise, and it clatters as loud as
it makes the loudest possible noise.
it clatters so loud the band stops playing, and everyone's looking at you. And then you kind of climb down and grab it, and then get back up, and yeah, the band just kind of weirdly starts playing again. In like they're out of sync for a second, and then it takes them a second to get there, and then everything's back up and running. But boy, was that awkward.
Literally,
If Delton is anything,
if a Delton is anything, it's awkward.
Yeah.
And sorry, folks. That just fell out of my skirts just a second. And I turn around and face the bar, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
We believe that there is a member of the True Way here that has been disguised as a Bajoran. We believe that he is going to introduce a biological agent here to try and destabilize the Federation after your defeat of one of their ships. This is the information I have. I can't act on it. I'm in Federation space, and I am not technically.
You are not Federation.
I'm not technically a member of the Cardassian government, and even with Victor's lack of knowledge about anything spy related, you're like, oh, he's not technically.
Yeah. I wink back. No, no. I'm going to kind of scroll through the pad as though this means anything to me, like as though anything. I mean, it means something to me, but Victra is not going to be able to probably parse a lot of what's on the pad, but I'm going to.
What you see there's a great deal of evidence, stuff that you probably could parse through with a little bit of time, but obviously something that like a security officer is going to have a lot more.
Absolutely.
But the threat, if all of this is true, the threat is very possible. Whether or not it's there, it's questionable, but they've got a lot of evidence suggesting things going.
Tran, how long have you had this information? Is that why your group is here?
Myself and my friend, Edic, we have traveled here to try and find the Bajoran, but there are several Bajorans here, and frankly, we don't know what we're looking for.
I know Cardassians are hard to read. Is there any way that I could try to roll to get a read on him?
You can roll insight and security on him. This would be a good time to buy stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take an extra, use a momentum if I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't really have anything that's useful besides violence and flying, so just...
I have flying and violence.
If a Delton's good at anything, it's violence and flying. So you said insight security?
Yeah, it's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay, I did get 2.
Oh, fantastic.
I got a 4 and an 8, yeah.
So, there's some concern there. He's sincerely concerned. You're picking up a couple other things. You're not quite sure what they are. You could spend momentum to kind of get more information if you would like to. He's concerned, and he believes what he's handing you is true.
I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Tran, you have made my friend Rosran's vacation so much better than you've made mine. But let me... what is the best way to contact you while you're on planet?
He gives you his comm badge number. I don't know how you exchange those. Like, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah,
he has
I
a comm
assume
badge. You just,
I
like,
assume
tap
we
them together, like the old bump
yeah,
app where you would
it's
just
like the old
exchange phone numbers.
yeah, we're just like doop, and I'm like, okay, got it, thanks. Just text me. Here's my number.
Yeah.
And I'll be in touch. And how? Okay. Indulge me for a second. Victor's on vacation. How old is this Cardassian?
Oh, it's indeterminate. Cardassians all look the same age.
Damn. Okay.
You would have to guess from his voice and given the amount of time he was in the Gamma Quadrant, he'd probably be in his early 30s-ish, or the equivalent of that for a Cardassian. Also, thank you, Stephen, for buying Momentum.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate that.
I'm not all lizard people look alike. I'm just saying Cardassians do look older at times.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't look old.
Mammals.
Well, I'm going to as we bump badges and exchange phone numbers, I'm going to make sure that my that's a euphemism for something. I'm for some tech geek somewhere. Let's bump badges.
So
it's like one of those.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like one of those silent raves. You just bump your badge a lot, and then it's like soaking or something. But you as we bump badges, I am going to casually brush a finger against his finger, and then I'm going to be like, I have to go talk to people, but I'll be in touch. And I tip the band.
Can you give me an insight and half presence roll on him? I'm going to let you...
I'm so good at this roll, I just roll complications.
I'm going to let you crit on half your presence because you're Deltan.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. I turn on the pheromone faucet. That's one success.
Nothing. He doesn't care.
Okay. It was a...
No, I mean, like... There's nothing that could be less interesting to him than a mammal.
Than flirting with a mammal. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
well,
he's just like, no, that's good. I'm cool.
I'm like...
He's like, good job, buddy. Just...
Yeah. Bump.
All right.
And yeah, I put in like a drink ticket for the band, and then I go off to find Rosrin.
Fantastic.
Probably boop boop.
Do you call Charlie as well?
Probably so. Brief aside with my crewmates, would we have a code? Like, are we friendly enough to have a code like chickens in the fun house?
Insist on it.
Okay, well,
yeah.
You just probably push the thing and be like, Rosrin, you were right. She'd be like, oh, or he'd be like, oh, it's time.
Yeah. What would the code be, Rosrin? For I may have spy level information that's going to make your day. What is the appropriate
Houston,
phrase?
we have a problem.
If it's Houston, we have a problem. I'm going to laugh.
No. Like Houston, we have a problem.
But yes,
sort of thing.
same sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, something about a drink probably, because that's something Rosman probably wouldn't ever ask anybody and either of you to do. So it'd be like, oh, Rosman, I got that order you wanted, or I made sure the hotel had the drink you wanted, or something like that.
Sure.
Which he wouldn't do. So it just means, hey, meet with me or whatever.
So the Cerulean Ricin is fantastic at the hotel bar. If I could get you to join me.
Rosman perks up. Fantastic. I'll meet you there.
Charlie, you also go there? You got chirped in? Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie was going to respond with, I will also meet you there and partake of many delicious beverages and probably some insect snacks.
They actually have great crickets here.
So you guys pull off to a side table kind of by itself, I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere far away from anybody who saw that pad rattle off my lap some moments ago.
Okay. So yeah, you hand when Rosrin gets there. It's not very long after Rosrin gets there, and Charlie's just a couple seconds behind. Um, you guys sit down and you hand the pad right over. I take it.
I do, and
Okay.
I very quietly. I'm trying to maintain some type of perception or presence of awareness, I suppose, of those around me, and I do say this was passed to me by one of the Cardassians that we interacted with before. And there's some very interesting evidence on here.
Yeah,
I
Roger will
think these
definitely
crickets
take
are delicious. And he looks at the pad.
More
Uh,
crickets, thanks.
Can I get Rosrin? Can you give me a reason security? It's going to be a difficulty of 2
Okay.
to read through
Cool.
this quickly and grasp the concepts, the deeper concepts.
Well, he he is very used to reading this sort of thing. So
Yeah, yeah, but there's a lot here. So like
Okay.
reading through it quickly enough to grab not just some of the stuff that Victor did, but like the deeper implications.
all right. So I got 2 here.
Mhm.
2 successes.
Fantastic. So as you read through it, what you gather is separate bits of chemical agents have been purchased in large quantities. They're all legal because chemical agents put together can still make a chemical weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But the quantities are of the right type, and they were bought through several different vectors. So some from the Ferengi, some from some Bolian traders, and some just straight from like the Federation. But it was something innocuous that didn't matter. Um, but the quantities and the ratios suggest that they're going to release a gas that would be enough gas to cover the planet, and it would not just make people sick, but it would likely kill the majority of the people on the planet. It's not so heavy that it's like an anthrax level, but it's heavy enough that there would be significant casualties.
Ros yeah.
2
Roger will explain all this as he's reading, by the way. He would
2
quietly.
Orion ships have been stolen from the Orion Syndicate, which is weird that got reported, but it's from a source inside the Syndicate that is giving information to the new Obsidian Order, which you know is the spy group for the Cardassians.
Right.
And these are the good Cardassians here in the Alpha Quadrant that we all like, that are under a treaty, not the true way. Yeah.
That we all like.
Yes, quote. And those specifically were modified prior to their theft to disperse things into an atmosphere. And there are sightings at each of these things of Bajorans where they shouldn't be, where they wouldn't normally be. Bajorans don't typically get involved with Orion Syndicate. It's dangerous work. Nobody wants it. It's just not it's not normal for a Bajoran to be there. And even if it was, those Bajorans are kind of tracked just like everybody else in the Syndicate is, and these do not match. These handful of Bajorans don't match it. You get some descriptions that are vague, but they match. Each of the vague descriptions matches it. And then there's a conversation that was recorded at Deep Space K7 of some Bajorans at a table talking about going to Risa to begin the True Ways statements.
Well,
A lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen any? I'm looking at Rosrin. Honestly, probably only you. Have you seen any
Yeah.
Bajorans that seem sus? You seem
As
to be the
matter
type
of-
that would watch.
as a matter of fact, I was doing some light reading out on on the patio, and
It's not light reading if you're in the sun. That doesn't count.
But it's really well lit.
when this Bajoran sat down and began to talk, and I suspected that there was something a little going on, but then he invited me to this Romulan restaurant tomorrow and mentioned the great atmosphere around the beaches.
The great atmosphere around the beach. Yeah, because
Victor, that sounds pretty normal, actually. That doesn't sound nefarious at all.
Not to Rosrin!
Yes, atmosphere. I mean, it sounds like something Charlie would say.
Well, he talked about the sunsets and the,
Oh, okay. Well, you said the pressure is high today.
Wait, he invited you to a Romulan restaurant, and he talked about the sunsets, implying that it has a spectacular view?
Yes.
Are you sure that you're not being invited on a date?
It does sound like a date, Roz.
That takes him aback. He's like, what?
Generally speaking, mammals don't comment upon the views places have unless they're trying to impress the other person.
The spy asked you on a date. The spy asked you on a date.
Narrowed eyes looking at Victor. Well, I mean, if it's one of these Bajorans, it would make sense. I mean, a lot of people know I'm the chief of security for the Serenitis. Right?
Well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, they do know that, but why would they just want to get in goods with you?
Or perhaps they want to make sure I'm out of the way while they do their whatever, put these chemicals together.
Is there anything in there that might give us a lead on what we should do about this, or should we just alert Starfleet?
It suggests that the chemical is going to be released relatively soon. Alerting Starfleet could do something, but you also know that as soon as Starfleet puts boots on ground, these guys are going to scatter, and there's too many people here to be sure. Maybe letting the captain you ran into know that you're doing something.
I was thinking.
But also, Charlie is highest rank here, so it might kind of be Charlie's call. Although,
absolutely,
you're not on duty, so who knows? Like, you could do whatever you want. You could be Worf and just change the weather because it's fun.
I would say. Oh, good.
I was gonna say I did run into a captain of the Concorde that you may have noticed is in orbit. But if we did need to speak to somebody with a little bit more authority than us, but whatever you wish, Commander.
It feels like needing to notify Starfleet in case we fail, but I don't think there's anything that we could also play along for now. And the other thing which we need to consider, besides these amazing crickets, I love them. I love how they're still fresh and alive, he says very loudly. They're probably still spying on us now.
Absolutely. Storyteller, is Captain Takei still around? Because he was having...
You haven't kept an eye on him, but looking around, you spot some of the people he's with. You think you see him, but you're not at a really good angle sitting down across a bar, you know.
I'm going to laugh like Charlie said something hilarious.
About the crickets and how good they are?
Yeah, and probably like put a hand on his chest and do you want me to talk to the captain? Oh, they are. This is my first cricket experience. It's lively, little bastards.
Charlie picks up one, eats it, and kind of implies you should do the same. I think that we should tell the captain you actually ate it. Oh, that was a joke,
crunchy.
Yeah. You know what they say, the crunchier the thorax is, the tastier the cricket is.
I've had
Who
nightmares.
says
I have
that?
never
No-
heard that
me.
phrase before in my
No one
life.
says that. No one.
Rosmer's like, I've never heard that before in my life.
If Deltons are anything, they're adventurous with their food.
If Deltons are, if Deltons have anything, it's a crunchy thorax.
But, we should probably tell the Vulcan captain because he may be able to help us.
Right. Leave this to me.
Oh, good.
Take it to Roz.
Oh, good.
No, I got this. And are we 1, 2, 3 breaking, or do we need to go over some more
Scatter in every direction.
1, 2, 3, go! Starfleet!
Starfleet! Yay!
You just see Rosrin get lifted up, it was like just flipped and then caught.
Yeah, just make his arm go like
You're the
"What?"
smallest. No, no, I can do that, and I wait for the go ahead to scatter, and yeah, I will make my way towards the Vulcans.
You walk over. The captain is speaking with a couple of the other Vulcans, and you come up, and they are deep in quantum mechanics beyond. Like, you know your quantum mechanics because it's important for like plotting courses and figuring out
Sure.
like a lot. But they are like deep into the theories of it, and they're into the theories of the theories. Like, it is like walking up on a bunch of like doctorate people when you've just gotten out of like your first year in quantum mechanics school,
Sure.
and you're just
sure.
like, oh man,
Oh,
what?
God.
And Takei sees you. He smiles and he says, and as his two companions stop talking, he says, Victra, I was hoping you would have a good time here, Risa. How can I help you?
I'm having, and I'm kind of like laying it on thick. I'm acting. I've on my way over. I did some breathing to put a little color in my cheeks, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, oh, Captain Takei, I really was hoping I'd bump into you. I apologize again, not like bumped into you like I did earlier. That was a complete accident, and I am sorry about that. I do owe you another drink after I spilled that one all over you. And as I am getting closer, I kind of lean in, probably a little bit too inappropriate close, but I on purpose, and I whisper, "We have some information that I think you need to be aware of." And I'm like, what would you like? Would you like one of these cerulean ricins and maybe a little? They've got these cute little umbrellas.
He looks at the two men he's with and he says, "Commanders, I apologize. It seems the lieutenant is drunk, and I'm going to have to make sure that she gets back to her room safely. This isn't the first time, nor will it be the last, I'm sure. Come, Victra." And he doesn't grab you by the
gosh.
arm, but he does that thing where he puts his hand behind your arm and suddenly with him, like just
Yeah.
not even thinking about it. You're just like, "Oh yeah, we're going."
We're going.
He says, "I apologize, Victor. I hope that doesn't sully your reputation too much, but we are on Risa. It's expected, I believe."
And honestly, if Delton's good at anything, it's sullying their own reputation.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's gonna be the best thing that comes out of season 2. I can already feel it.
it's a joke that's gonna get old real fast.
Just get a shirt that says, "If Dalton's good at anything," and then just nothing else.
Just leave it blank. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave it blank. You know.
Yeah.
No, sir. It's fine. I appreciate you at least taking me seriously. I hope.
He walks you kind of into the building. All the buildings are kind of open air, so he goes down a hallway and then out another hallway into an area where there's not really anybody around. It looks like it's a service area, but there's no real workers back here. It's probably more busy during the day. And he says, "All right, Lieutenant, what's going on?"
I was approached this evening by a Cardassian that we, the Serenitis, had helped out of a bind in a... You may have read some mission
Were
reports
these
about.
the ones you rescued from the Bajoran, what seemed like a work camp?
Yes, the same.
I was briefed lightly on that.
Okay. Fantastic. Then I don't have to go into that. But I was approached by one. They passed me a pad of information, and based on what Rosran, or what Lieutenant Rosran was telling us moments ago, it looks like they believe there is a Bajoran terrorist, or someone working with the True Way, looking to release. It was a nerve agent, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
essentially.
Essentially, yeah,
Yeah.
essentially releasing a nerve
Chemical
agent.
weapon.
Yeah, a chemical weapon in the atmosphere. Um,
He
our
pulls a pad out and like connects it to yours and copies it over.
Okay.
He says, "I assume you said that your chief of security had read over this, Lieutenant
Yes.
IRX. I trust that she has assessed the situation and believes it to be a credible threat."
He has. Yes.
Or I'm sorry, he. Yep.
Um, if there's anything that I trust Lieutenant Irax to do, is know when there is a credible threat, and they do believe this is a thing. They were approached by a Bajoran earlier, and not saying. Did you tell us, Danny? Did you tell us that besides asking you out on a date, that they believed that there were True Way here?
Yeah, that they had concerns.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
couldn't
he would
remember
have
if
told
you
you the
actually
whole
told.
conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
He would have told you the whole conversation.
And it was
I
less
would-
that there was true way here; it's just more that the Cardassians were up to something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to mention that also, and this could be a simple case of old
Yes.
bad blood, or prejudices, but it seems a little coincidental.
Given the Serenice's connections to the Cardassians, I think it best that your crew handle this. Is it just the three of you here? Or the two of you
Well,
here? He doesn't know about Charlie?
yeah, there are 3 of the senior staff here. We have some other some of our staff with us, but we are the 3 senior staff. Commander Charlie is our ranking officer on planet.
Commander Charlie, the Saurian.
The Saurian, yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Our
Okay.
science officer.
What is Commander Charlie's assessment? What would be your next steps? What are your... You're giving me this information for a reason. What are your thoughts?
Well, partly the question was whether or not we should alert Starfleet Command, and Charlie does lean that way, but also suggested that we play along for now. But I at least wanted to give the information to somebody with a little bit more authority, namely you, sir, and that you were at least apprised of the situation, and should something go down, we could perhaps have your support, or at least have your eyes on things that you might come across.
He scans through the pad pretty quickly.
Speed reader too. Wow,
Yeah.
impressive.
Says it looks like they have a couple of Orion ships. I will get back to the Concorde and begin scanning for those. At least we know if they're coming or if they're already here. I can transmit that information to you or your commander, or both of you. But I think that
Yeah.
the Commander Charlie's right that if we move too heavily on this, we won't have a chance to catch anything.
I agree, sir. But no, I appreciate your ear and listening to what we've come across.
Thank you, Victor. You have shown me again that you are much more than I thought you were in my classes.
Thank you, sir.
He walks off a couple of steps. He clicks his comm badge and he says, Concord 1 to beam up. And he's gone.
All right. Before he leaves, I'm like, be careful out there, sir.
You too. And then
Nice.
Yeah.
I want that sound effect every time now.
Clip that, John.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
need it.
just play it every time.
He's doing it.
Yes.
Okay, I would from where we are, since I am isolated, I am going to beep and say Commander Charlie and Lieutenant Erex, the package has been dropped off.
Thank you.
Did you Kirk dramatic that? The package has been dropped off.
Dropped off.
Oh, the camera zooms close on your face and there's Vaseline over.
Vaseline around the edges of the lens,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
look.
yeah.
I'm dramatically lit. I
Yeah.
am the most beautiful Deltan in this light.
You head back to like kind of the populated area. It is past dinner and getting later. Is there John dropped it in the chat. That's fantastic.
It's wonderful. I like
there-
the name is Nasty Blushing Ramen Craigasm. So just the names that Twitch auto generates for clips are some of the best. But yeah, Nasty Blushing Ramen Craigasm. Whatever a Craigasm is, it better be good. And it apparently goes.
It's past dinner. It's getting into the later parts of the night. What would you guys like to do? Rosalind has maybe a date. We're not sure. Tomorrow evening. But between now and then, you've got some time.
So I found marshmallows and graham crackers and Hershey's bars at the bar, and I'm like, y'all want to come up to my room and get some s'mores? It's an earth delicacy that my dad taught me about when we were hiking in the Ural Mountains when I was.
Charlie grabs a handful of crickets. He's like, "Yeah, those will go good in the chocolate."
Good! It would be great!
Okay. So are you guys retiring back to Victor's room?
Yeah, Rosrin's gonna attempt to go over the data more, unless the other two are like, "No, don't do that."
No, you can look at the data. It's fine.
Yes. This evidence.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Yeah, we now know what a Craigasm looks like, and it's not pretty.
Oh no.
It's not.
Oh, no.
So you guys head back. Are you guys gonna talk over a plan then? Is that what you're?
That's
gonna do for the evening?
that's what my goal would be. Yeah, is that
Yeah.
I would update them more fully. I'm hoping that actually when we get back to the room, I am going to say, Rosrin, can you perhaps scan the room and make sure that everything's cool?
Absolutely, of course. He's already pulling his scanner out while she says
Oh,
that.
fantastic! You know what tricorders go off of? Reason science. You should have Charlie do it.
Okay, Charlie scan.
Like,
I will delegate.
I think Rosalind's great, but not at reason science.
No,
You're not terrible at it, actually.
but
Two
Charlie's better.
successes. Well, was there a difficulty?
2. Yeah, you definitely find a bug. It is some sort of device that pulses the
cricket.
room and waits until it detects both a Deltan and a wow, you're not Bajoran, what are you? Trill life signs before it activates to record the room.
How dare it assume I would invite a trill back to my room?
But
No,
yeah,
but
you can disable it without any kind of issue, Charlie. Like it is sensitive enough that like just kind of fiddling with it a little bit will cause it to short out. It is a very high tech device. Before we get into this conversation, though, I want to take a break. Before we get on the break, though, I want to talk about some stuff that I have on this list here that I have in front of me. I just have to click. There we go. So, hey, we are doing the channel points. I know there hasn't been a lot of movement on momentum tonight. It's not that big of a deal, but you can still spend your channel points on momentum threat and rerolls. You can tip to create NPCs, and somebody in Muncie is about to hit the stream deck to pop that up into the chat. I'm hoping. Find out.
did you say, is this for the tips?
Yeah, for the tips. And then
I'll do it
yeah,
in a minute.
you definitely, if you've just come out for tonight and this is the first time you've seen us, you should hit that follow button. If this is not the first time you've seen us and you really enjoy what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. That helps a little bit too. I will be honest, tipping goes directly to us, and it's 100% to Rook and Rasp. Subscribing, Twitch takes their cut. We'll be honest. So definitely check those out. And then don't forget that you get, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free subscription, and you can take money from Amazon and give it to us, and we can chortle about it all day long. So definitely, yeah.
That's what
If
chortling
you're
sounds
enjoying such classy things like noises like,
And
you sh-
And
you
if
should,
Dalton's good at anything, and
he's good at.
Shawcocks.
If Dalton's good at anything, it's subscribing through Twitch Prime. But we are going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back right after that, just stretching our legs, and we hope you are going to be back with us. We'll be back just a few.
see you in a sec. It's okay.
I'll tell everybody about it. I don't care.
That is horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad.
We're telling surgery and bad experience stories, y'all. in the break.
Yeah. Are we back?
We are back, yeah.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm totally on top of it. I knew we were back.
That's all right. I cut John off when he started to say it, I think, by saying that.
Gotcha. So hey, tomorrow is By Leaps and Bounties. That's our pirate show. Danny is running that pirate show, and I believe that Roxy's playing a very thirsty pirate on that show, or is Roxy just very thirsty and playing a pirate?
I
Both?
mean, you never know. I'll never tell.
Fair enough. So we've got that on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then we've got Growing Shadows on Thursday for reals this time. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's the penultimate episode. So come out for all the pins that are going to be the best pins, the ultimate pins, if you will. And then next week, John is running Falling Between the Stars, an episode for the Voyages of. And we will be here for that. That'll be exciting. I think I'm not playing. I don't know.
Oh, you never played mine. You're playing one of mine. You're the focus of one of mine. It's gonna be. I think people are gonna be in for a treat.
Yeah, the captain's log makes it sound really good. Could you quit eating your?
No,
You
we're
do
gonna
whatever
eat
you
all
want.
the crickets.
No, he eats his
Dude.
fur and then he vomits it all up, and I'm not doing that. Stop. Hold on just a second. I apologize. Thank you.
He's at home. Duke is one of the world's sweetest cats, who is much maligned.
He is a very sweet cat. However, when he feels like he deserves attention and he get it, he eats his own fur. He pulls it out and then eats it because he knows he'll throw up and it'll frustrate me. He is a very viciously vindictive cat, and I don't like it at all. But I love him.
The chat is calling for cat content. They want to see Duke.
If I can get him to come over here, come here, buddy.
Duke
So
has been on
lovely.
camera for us before. He's a boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
He
like
is the Duke.
if there's a big old Hulkencation insecurity, that's Duke. Come here, buddy. Come here,
Yeah,
you big
a big
dork.
old Maine Coon-cation.
Yeah, he's not gonna come over
That's-
here. He knows he's in
You
trouble.
want him over there now.
Yeah, I want him here. So you know what? I really don't want the cat next to me. Oh, that didn't work. So yeah, come out for those shows. Yeah, those are gonna be great shows. So definitely come out for those. Don't forget the other stuff, the tipping and point spending and that kind of stuff. That's all good. And we'll get back into the story. So you guys chat through what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's the what plan are you guys coming up?
I suggest that we all, as best we can, make sure we are in the vicinity of either Bajorans or Cardassians to take note of their movements and how they're moving around the planet.
They
Reconnaissance.
have a rapport with the Cardassians.
Well, there you go.
Oh well, there.
And I
That
will-
I do not.
And I will attend this dinner tomorrow night and see what is.
Do you
see
need
if I
help?
can-
Do you need help selecting the right attire for this date that you're going on? What is this Bajoran's name?
Oh, he did give me the name. Danny forgot it though. Rosrin would not have. What
was the
Bajoran's
name of the Bajoran, Matt?
That's a good question.
He gave one.
Was the name given? That is...
It was, and
Yeah,
Matt
it
had
was.
forgotten it, so don't feel bad about you forgetting it. I made it up and I forgot it. This is how Matt runs games. I didn't write it down because I didn't think to. It started. It was like it started with a K. Just go with that. We'll just call him K.
Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin the Bajoran.
Kevin the Bajoran. Do you need help selecting a tire? Did you bring anything but uniforms? And that lay?
Well, I was given this on planet, but I mean, what's wrong with my clothes?
I'm okay. Oh, Rosrin. Have you been on a date before, Rosrin?
Well, I'm not going. I mean,
okay. Let me ask you this: what were they wearing?
I really don't think.
They
he'll
wearing,
describe it. Probably some casual clothes, probably Bajoran.
Casual,
right? Yeah.
Bajoran wear. At least let's dress you down just a little bit, and not in the reprimand way. Let's at least loosen the collar a bit. We'll work on that tomorrow. I'm sure they have something here suitable.
Anyway, while I'm on this dinner, I will attempt to see if I can gather any more information or suss out if this may be one of the Bajorans that we're looking for.
I think that's probably a good plan. I really don't have friends among the Cardassians or the Bajorans. So do you just want me to stay out of the way? Or is there something specific y'all'd like me to do?
Maybe you could shadow Rosrin on his date.
Oh, I could do that. I'll just be a couple tables away. We'll set up a way for me to overhear. Can we set up the comm badges to where it can keep a channel open, and I'll just take a little listen in, and I'll do my best not to interrupt, but if things start going really south and they're not the bad guy, I can maybe give you some pointers.
Says the recommendation.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to make a recommendation.
Sure.
You may wish to display one of the local symbols that will help you blend in the background. This symbol will make it so that people assume that you're not spying on someone and that you are here to enjoy the Ryzen culture.
What symbol are you referring to?
So there are these wooden statues that you've seen people set out, usually by their chairs or on their tents.
Are they fertility statues? Or just like aphrodisiac statues?
I believe the translation does equate to roughly aphrodisiac statue.
I think it translates directly to down to comm badge bump statue.
Down to badge bump. It's the DTF of Risa. Okay, so interesting. I'm just saying, as a Deltan, if there's anything that Deltan's good at, it's catching the attention of interested parties nearby. So I don't know if I need the statue, the wooden icon, but what the hell? I was looking for a memento.
The statue will help you blend in because people might wonder why a Deltan's not partaking, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was hoping the hair, at least set me apart a little bit. But you're right. I do have that stereotypical Deltan aloofness and serenity about me. So, as I'm sure you can all tell. So, yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Me and Wooden Icon will go to dinner together tomorrow night, just a few tables away from where Rosrin and Kevin are going to be hanging out.
No, this is fine. It's all fine. Don't worry about
I
that.
wasn't contemplating,
Can I get,
like, how did I end up in this situation? Like,
It's Keith's fault.
Charlie, can I get you to reprogram the comm badge? It's going to be reason and engineering. Subspace fields is going to come into effect. It's a difficulty of 2. Shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Okay.
We have 4 momentum, as I have it counted here.
I'm going to borrow one, or use one, to use cautious again.
Sure.
Oh, is this engineering or science?
Engineering.
Oh, then I am not using cautious. That is only applied to my science.
Okay. So you're just rolling 2 dice?
Yeah, was about to cheat. All right, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this.
You've got it.
2 successes.
2. Perfect.
You're
Yeah,
on
you
fire tonight.
reprogram it so that if Victor hits it the right way, it will connect to Rosrin's quietly and let her listen in. Or, yeah.
Sweet. Great.
We are going to call it a scene change after the evening going into the next day. So you're going to lose a point of momentum to go down to 3. The rest of the next day, Charlie, do you track down the... I'm sorry?
I had us at 3. Were we at 4?
We were at 4, yeah.
Cool.
Charlie, you track down the other Cardassian that you were talking with about warp field dynamics? Okay. Are you just occupying his time and spending time with him, or are you trying to get anything out of it?
Charlie is mainly trying to occupy his time. And his other 2 goals are going to be try to figure out if he's going to let loose, like if he's acting suspiciously. And then the other one is if he has any interest in what would be for plagues? Virology?
Virology, yeah. Can I get you to give me a presence science roll?
Oh no.
That's not the worst.
No, but present. Oh, yeah, it's not bad. So I've got nothing to keys into it. But here we go.
It's a difficulty of 2.
Oh no! How dare you? Oh man. 1 success.
Okay. You spend the time talking with him. He doesn't seem to know much about virology, and it's not your field of study specifically. You know some. There is enough that you have to do as kind of the head of the science division to deal with virology, because that's that's your job. To know a little bit of everything. Thank you, Allah, for buying Threat. We appreciate that. I appreciate it.
I know, Danny. I know.
Yeah, no. Allah
They just
often
bought another
protecting...
one. They just bought a second one because.
Yeah, here we go. There we go. Listen, Allah often protects me in the Illuminated Page game, and is obviously extending that into Star Trek. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Wow, I thought we were friends. I see now that I was.
If it was in the game, it'd be like, Danny will remember this. It's like,
yeah. Danny was displeased, and will remember this.
So it's clear that he doesn't have any real knowledge of virology. He does understand chemical compounds, and he has clearly a background in chemistry. When you kind of talk about some solid state engines as part of like early interstellar travel, he has some clear understanding of chemistry and talks about it quite a bit, but never really releases any information that make you feel like he's doing anything. Cardassians are hard to read, like even for you, who's also a non-mammal species. You're not picking up a lot of anything from him. So, what's wrong?
Our dogs are just losing their collective shit out in the front room. Like, I don't understand. Fred's just having a bork and he's PO'd. Sorry.
Oh, it'd be like that.
I know. Is there like a way to send like a text message through our communicators?
You can do it on pads for sure.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if they're looking at their pad, but I would send to the other two a text message essentially that just says, "I am having zero luck, although I am learning a lot about work field dynamics and early stellar travel." And then frowny face.
It is. It is at least interesting to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is good conversation. You're enjoying yourself, but also,
because if Victra would understand that Charlie's enjoying themselves, they will not respond with "Oh, I'm sorry" and a hugs emoji.
so you spend most of the day talking with the Cardassian?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Has to learn anything.
Yeah. He seems to be having a good time. He does get up and go to the restroom a little more often than you would expect him to. Cardassians, as you know, have large bladders and don't pee very often, and he has peed more like a human, and it's weird.
The phrase "he has peed more like a human" out of context implies that Charlie has accompanied him to the way station, and
I would like to argue that Charlie would probably be very interested in seeing how humans pee.
And how Cardassians pee, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't put this past Charlie. Charlie is a very curious creature.
Yeah, actually, Charlie is going to clumsily bump his drink onto his pants. Like, whoops, should have done that.
You learn something new every day.
Don't want to get scale rot and then stand up and then make my way to the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Nice. The scale
Wow, this
rot.
took a left turn. This all
Took a turn. That is absolutely true.
Charlie is not great at being a spy because he is a science officer.
For science.
He's gonna go to the bathroom.
Come on. It's okay. Come see me. Nope, he's not stupid, or he's not smart enough to fall for that shit. Come here. Okay, fine. So yeah, you spend most of the day talking with him. Everything's fine, other than he does go to the bathroom a little more often. But that's it. That's really the only thing. Yeah.
I seriously go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Nothing weird going on in the bath. Well, nothing weird for you. No, nothing weird going on in the bathroom. It's fine.
Like him typing on a pad or doing it, he just goes to pee.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's the weird part. No, I get it.
I'm gonna set my tricorder to be like on in like my pocket. Not in the bathroom. When I sit back down at the dinner table, I'm just gonna have it on in my pocket, and then when Index goes to use the bathroom, I'm just gonna take a sneak peek at the readings and see. I know it's not as sophisticated as a medical tricorder, but maybe it can tell me something.
Why don't you give me a reason science roll to perform a pretty intense scan? It's going to be like a difficulty 3, because you're going to get more than just is his bladder full. So
I'm buying momentum.
Okay.
You find out he
down to
has
2.
a genetic.
We rolled that one. 3.
3. So you got all 3 you needed. Fantastic. His bladder is not full. When you scan and follow where he's going, he goes in a direction not the bathroom, but not so far away that he couldn't make it back in the same time, and then he comes back again.
I'm gonna wait for the next time he gets up to leave, and then I'm gonna follow, but stealthily. Also, I know. Also, is there anything else that pops up on the tricorders? Any strange particles?
No real strange particles. Everything else seems normal.
No particulates in the stream whatsoever.
I'm gonna need a daring and security roll to sneak after him.
Nary a crystal in his kidney.
Okay, we got this. And because I really
You
want
got
to screw
it's
this up,
You got
It's a
this.
difficulty of 2.
yeah, I'm going to take another point of momentum because I do sciencey stuff. And I don't know if focus on Klingon culture would help with sneaking.
No.
So here we go. Any 2?
Yep.
Oh, man.
The complication range is still 19 to 20. Just FYI.
Well, that's unfortunate for me because I got 2 successes. I rolled a 19.
And you rolled a 19. Fantastic.
No, 19. You know, chat, down in that Cthulhu magnifying glass, there are some rerolls you could buy us should you feel so inclined and want to
Don't do it.
spend your pointies.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You have gotten just as many things. Oh, thank you, John. He loves me and wants me to take
that's a
him to
momentum.
dinner tonight. Yeah, it is
So-
a momentum, but
Fantastic. That's perfect. So you follow the Cardassian stealthily. It's successful. He stops and speaks with a Rycian. You move well, I'll tell you what. You can take this reroll from Allah and reroll just the complication. Or you can let me keep it and let the reroll stay on the table. It's up to you.
But I still get to hear the information.
It's a good question. It could go either way depending on what you do.
Oh, man.
I know, doesn't that suck?
we actually got 3 rerolls and a momentum.
Holy crap.
You've won.
Wow, Rue!
Hey, look,
Turning
chat
those
found the
gleeful eyes on
Cthulhus.
chat more often.
I got that charm, babes. I got that
Yeah,
charm.
yeah,
They come out for me. It's those Delton pheromones. If there's anything a Delton's good at, it's getting distracted by rerolls.
Steven, you're right. I can't tell you what to do. Don't buy me any more threat.
That's 2. That's 2. That's 119.
So you did re-roll it?
Yeah,
And no complication?
no complication.
Okay. So you get to the point where you get close enough to where you think you can hear it. They are speaking in clearly Cardassian, but your translator is translating it. The problem is they're speaking in code. How familiar is Charlie with code?
Finger code?
Like they're speaking in Cardassian, so all the words make sense. They're just not in a order that makes any sense.
Yes, you're speaking in Pig Latin Cardassian, which I did not
Yes.
study.
Damn.
So
I know that one.
So why don't you roll me reason and science?
See, I'm good at science. That was your mistake. I'm really good at science.
And you're not bad at reason. Hey, listen, science officers should be good at linguistics. That's how that works. Oh, is it 2 complications? See, it's 2 complications. I want 2. I so badly want to. You only need a 1 on this.
Oh
Holy
no.
crap.
Oh no.
20.
A 1 and a 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so that puts your momentum at 4. Oh, goodness. Sorry.
Wow. Fate was really wanting that complication to come up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Did you
hold
spend
on.
did you spend a momentum, John?
Like 2 rolls ago, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember because we got 2 gifted to us, so I didn't know if that put us at 4 or 5.
We're at 4 on my count.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. That's fine.
So what you parse out from their conversation is that
Oh, we lost you, Matt. Just a
Bryson.
second, Matt.
any of them are acting suspicious, and the Rycian essentially says, "Oh, what's going on?"
Sorry, you froze for a little
Oh.
bit.
Yeah.
But you're back now.
Okay, hold on.
Just in time for the cops.
Yeah, just in time for the important stuff.
Can you start over from what they were
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely. I'm gonna. The Cardassian is essentially asking how Cardassian or how many Bajorans they've seen, where they're at, and if any of them are acting suspicious. And the thing that he told them 20 minutes ago, he's not exasperated, but basically like they're all the same places, it's all the same number. Nothing seems suspicious. Everything's fine. And so clearly the Cardassian has been watching this, has been watching out for Bajorans. As you're kind of standing there, and the Cardassian and the Rycian don't see you, you do feel kind of a pat on your back, a heavy, hard Klingon pat on your back. And you turn to see one of the Klingons that you spent some time with on Kronos. Don't you spent time on Kronos, right? Yeah. Okay. So what's his name?
Malar,
and he says, Charlie, and he is loud as Klingons can be. And he is carrying blood wine. He says, Charlie, you have to drink with me. Come.
Malar, you caught me at a bad time. I am relieving myself in public.
Don't want to get scale rot. Oh. He says, oh, then I will join you. And then he like shoves you aside and just relieves himself right next to you.
If there's anything a Klingon is good at, it's doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Charlie, I guess.
And now your study of the Klingon culture is complete. You've seen them pee.
No, he's seen Malar pee before.
Very, very likely, yeah.
Especially after he's been drinking. Guess Charlie joins in because he doesn't want to seem weird. So.
Oh yeah, this is perfectly normal.
Yeah, no, in public.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sock Fiddler, for the more momentum. That'll put us at 5. Technically, there's a cap. Technically.
Well, the cap is 6. We get one more.
Yeah. As you're kind of now you have to pee. Like, that's obvious. There's no other choice but to pee. The Cardassian comes around the corner. You catch his eye, and it is clear that he knows you were listening. You couldn't have not heard him. Like, you were that close. And he just goes back.
The table?
Back towards the bar. You can't quite see him. There's a couple of turns between here and the table.
Charlie finishes and sips up and is like, well, great to see you. We'll connect over keying later. And he hurries to the bar.
Can you give me a presence fitness roll? This is going to be to avoid Malar and get out of his clutches because he's a Klingon, and now you have with him.
I mean, it's like one inch halved.
No, presence at presence at half fit.
He's a clinging Klingon.
You just need 1. He's pretty drunk.
I got 2.
Okay, it's fantastic. That puts us at cap, actually. You kind of like dodge and weave and talk him out of it, and then, like, as soon as you're out of arm's reach, scurry. And you walk back to the bar, and the Cardassian is not there.
Hey, bartender, did you see my Cardassian friend? I have his pad and would like to return it to him.
He looks around. And he says, "No, I thought I saw him come back, and then he headed over towards the residences."
Okay, thank you. Also, you got some weirdo peeing in your restaurant.
Not the first time. Won't be the last.
Charlie scurries after him.
Okay. You search for a little while. We're gonna switch over to Rosrin's date because you've been talking to this guy for a while.
Ooh.
Rosrin, you take the train for half an hour. A couple of cars back though is Victra carrying a Horgan. Are you carrying
What am I carrying?
carrying this Horgan out in the
statue.
open, Victra? Oh no.
A Horgan? What is a
The
Horgan?
statue. It's called a Horgan.
Oh, is it called
It's
a
the-
Horgan? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I knew I had a statue. I didn't know I had an organ out. But now
I'm glad it
now-
came up.
now I have ideas of what this statue looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the chat also thought that I was carrying around an organ. Yeah, the spelling is questionable and subjective, but yeah, I'm chilling out in the couple cars back.
With the Horgan out though, right?
Oh yeah, I have it sitting. You know, I don't know if I'm in my own.
Has Victra been to Ryza before?
Probably, but maybe
Would having taken your oath of celibacy, would you have gone to the banging planet? Because this is the banging planet.
before I took the oath
Sure.
of celibacy, I went to the banging planet because you have to get it all out.
So
And
I
the
wouldn't
oath of
say-
celibacy is only with Starfleet officers.
okay. So I wouldn't say you're swarmed, but you are asked numerous times if you're seeking Jamaharon, which is you want to bang, and like you are offered, and it's Ryzians, it's other people that are not Ryzians. People are just approaching you and asking, and this didn't happen before you had that stupid statue, and then you realize, oh, this is going to happen a lot.
This is going to happen a lot. I also have not been stemming the tide of my pheromone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially. So I assume that there are just a plethora of human men.
It's
that-
not
of
even just humans. It's
Well, I know that my pheromones are particularly powerful to humans. I believe is
Yeah.
what I understand.
But it's definitely not just humans. You even get approached by a Ferengi, and he asks you if you know much about lobes.
I do, and I'm not into them, bro. I'm sorry.
You broke the Ferengi. That's the best thing, bro.
Friend.
Bro, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. And
nah.
I flip my Horgan upside down like at the Brazilian steakhouse when I say I've had enough.
Yeah, that's exactly how that
I'm
works.
like, yeah, good. And when he toddles off, I'll flip it back to green because I'm waiting for that bacon wrapped fillet.
So yeah, now you were approached several times. If you weren't like doing, if you weren't middle of a mission, maybe, but you're a little.
I mean,
busy.
I will set it. I'll kind of push it back, and I'll be like, well, I would like to maybe have a chat first before we just jump into the festivities. Yeah, if there's somebody that seems particularly. I will also keep an eye out for Bajorans or Cardassians.
There are no Cardassians for sure. There are like a small handful of Bajorans that have moved through the train, but nothing out of the ordinary. People are moving about. It's kind of like a late night party train coming back from like a big city. Like everybody's been drinking, or will be drinking, or is drinking. And it's just a very festive atmosphere. The whole island, or the whole planet, is kind of like this, though. It's not out of the ordinary. So people are moving around and talking. There's a lot of action.
Sorry, the chat's off. The chat is out.
No, the chat should do whatever the chat's doing. I appreciate the chat. I just shouldn't read your chats about what Deltons are good.
Sorry.
So, yeah, you guys traveled a half an hour. You end up at the Romulan
Restaurant.
the Romulan restaurant. Romulan food, in my
What's
opinion,
it called?
You can make up the name of a Romulan
I'm joking.
restaurant.
I'm joking. Please move on. I didn't mean to interrupt. Romulan food.
It is Romulan food, in my opinion, is like a deep curry. Like it's got a lot of flavor, like layers of it too. It's not necessarily spicy, but there's a lot of things going on in this food.
Spiced.
Yeah,
Nice.
and a lot of their food tastes similar until you realize that there are hints and undertones in each one that make them very different. And it's not that Delton or Trill tongues can't pick it up. It's that it takes it a little bit for your brain to catch on that there are these very subtle undertones of flavoring. And that's what really kind of, once you realize that, you can really start enjoying.
Did Victra insist on dressing Rosrin?
I assume so.
I suggested it's totally up to Rosrin if you choose to wear it, but I found some nice non-upholstery looking Romulan fashion that is a sleek black jacket with some serious shoulder pad movement, and a nice cut on the sleeve, and a little like silver piping. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's muted, and it's definitely not Starfleet regulation, which is what I was going for.
All right. Well, if it's understated, as long as Rosrin had the nightmare that some sort of Hawaiian shirt or other sort of thing was gonna. But no. He'll wear that if
yeah.
he'll wear that. He'll wear that because for the sake of the mission.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which isn't a
I
date
fully
or
expect
anything.
like your phaser to be like hidden somewhere or something.
Yeah.
One of those phaser
Of course he's
type ones.
packing. What?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. So yeah, that's what he's wearing, and he'll go into the restaurant, and he'll look around, for the K, the Bajoran.
Yeah. So you see him shortly after, like as you walk in, and go meet him and greet him. Victor, you're sat. I wouldn't say across the restaurant. It's not a very large place, but you're sat a couple of tables away, easily. Far enough away you can't overhear without activating.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would not want to seem too conspicuous, and of course, the Horgan is accompanying me to this feast.
Of course. Where you are again approached by the waiters, everyone.
Yeah. Well, and I smile at especially if it's the one that's serving me. I always am overly cordial to the waitstaff, because I don't want my food to be tampered with. But in an effort to curb the interest, I'm going to set the Horgan in the chair across from me, and I'm going to order for it as well, and conduct a conversation with it while I'm at the table, and hopefully they'll leave me alone.
Yeah, that does curb.
You're going all out.
That's not what Charlie meant, but
I mean, I am aware of what I should be doing, but I need to focus on this conversation and not constantly have to be beating the people away that are just here for it,
Yeah.
So, Rosalind, you sit down. There's a little bit of small talk. Have you eaten Romulan before? Romulan food?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
Rosalind likes it quite a bit,
Okay.
actually.
So, since you've eaten it before, he doesn't make any suggestions. Kind of lets you order whatever you're going to order. They bring out kind of like an appetizer platter thing, like a little bit of sampling of everything, and then a couple of kind of curries that they've got. It is not the best Romulan you've ever had, but it is clearly authentic and not replicated. I read a whole long post about replicated food, and it's not that it's not flavorful, it's that it's made as though it came from a factory. It's all the same, so it doesn't have the hints and the tweaks that you get from real cooking, and that's what makes real cooking, like, it's not your mama's chili, it's just chili. Like, that's the big difference. So it's like that. This isn't just Romulan food. This is like the chef here knows his Romulan food, and it's probably Romulan.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The conversation it goes back and forth without getting too serious for at least the appetizer. When the main course comes out, though, he says, "So, Rosrin, you're a chief of security on what I read was one of the flagships of the Federation. Is that right?"
Well, we are certainly on an important mission, I would say.
So, what led you to be a chief of security? Like, if I understand Trill correctly, and I may not, so I apologize, but like are you joined?
Okay. Can we do kind of a vibe check on this conversation?
Sure,
Like,
absolutely. Give me.
Can you just ask somebody if they're joined? God.
Yeah, that's rude. God, can't just ask somebody if they're joined.
Let's get insight. It's called insight and half presence.
All right.
Oh, man, we are all about the attribute rolls tonight, guys.
This is not a lot of like.
Our
There's not a lot of
skills are not
discipline
very
stuff
useful.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take 2 successes.
fantastic. That's what you needed, even though I didn't tell you. No, he seems interested, but he is leading somewhere with this. It's not quite obvious yet. He hasn't asked a lot of questions, but like he has a plan. You can see it. The gears working behind his eyes. He has a thing he's doing here.
So Rosrin wants to know that. So he's going to answer in kind of without giving the most information that he can. When he asks if he's joined, he'll say yes, but won't elaborate because it's usually something you can find out. I mean, it would be in his files, Starfleet file or whatever. Right. So he'll just say yes.
So
and leave it at that.
I would think that having a symbiote like that's and being a chief of security, like being a Starfleet officer, that there's a level of danger there that I find interesting that you would choose that direction. What led you to security?
Say, I've always believed that we should have a wide variety of experience. And it has definitely been quite an experience doing this job. I learn a lot about people that way.
Yeah, I bet you have. I've experienced quite a few things myself. I was interested when Bajor joined the Federation and went and looked at some of the founding paperwork or founding documents. He wouldn't call it paperwork. Paper doesn't exist. Founding documents of the Federation. I found some interesting things, some things that I did not expect.
Like what?
Are you familiar with the 31st section of the founding document?
Of course he is.
So what he has just referenced is section 31.
Yeah. He raises an eyebrow, like, I have heard.
I found it incredibly interesting. Interesting enough that I spent some time really researching and getting to know what Section 31 does and what their goals are and who they were.
I see. And Roger's gonna like lean back or whatever, and he's gonna say, I feel like you're wanting to ask something.
It's possible. I would like to show you something. Do you mind? You are in
You have a
public, so that
Horgan.
Yeah, Victor's hearing all this.
He's not Charlie, so he's not going to just
Yeah.
publicly urinate here.
Yeah. No, it's just funny.
It did work.
Rosrin says, very well. Because he knows Victra's there, so,
So he
this
pulls
is an
out-
opportunity.
He pulls out this small half dome. It's silver, but at the very top is clearly some sort of activation button. He sets it down and pushes the button, and there is a low hum that almost immediately fades into the background.
Can
Says
I?
this? Oh, I'm
All
sorry.
right. Yeah, what the hell is this
I
thing?
want as soon as he said, "Can I show you something?" And I mean, I can roll like an insight to see if I understand that he's retrieving something and they're not going somewhere.
Yeah.
I would like to
You
possibly
can probably
stand up. I would
Yeah,
like
you
to
can
stand
stand
up
up.
and look, or kind of like make my way to an area relatively nonchalantly, I guess, stealthily, in the sense that I'm trying to blend in and not look out of place.
Give me we're gonna call it presence and half daring.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look. Essentially, I'm gonna look for somebody that has their Horgan out as well, and see if we have matching Horgans.
Just whip your Horgan out in public. That's
I'm
How
gonna
dare.
I'm gonna
How
daintily lift him. I'm gonna daintily lift them out of the chair, and I'm going to tote them over to a friend. My Horgan would
She's
like
the
to know if
lady.
you would be interested in a play date. What did you say? You said half daring and
presence and half daring.
Because Victra's classy. She doesn't whip it out.
Victor is
Classy
Victor is
about
so
it.
classy. So I rolled a 9 and an 8. Those are both successes.
Fantastic. So that you're already capped, so you can't get the momentum. What are you looking for? Just to see what he's doing, or to get closer?
I want to see what he's showing him.
He pulls out a little half, like
Okay, yeah. The
yeah,
same
and sets it on the
description.
table and activates it. Rosrin starts moving his mouth, and you don't hear anything over the combat. And he says, "This is a dampening field. I'm being told that you're getting something going on with your communicator, some sort of subspace relay. I thought that we could have a conversation just between you and I. This is one of many things that Section 31 has developed that we use on a regular basis. But I wanted to see it and not just activate it in my pocket. Rosalind, we would be very interested in having someone of the Serenitis.
Oh, Lord. Oh, okay.
The safety
Okay.
of the Federation is at stake when you have the Obsidian Order even rebuilding, and you have the Romulans rebuilding the Tal Shiar. Starfleet intelligence is not prepared to do what must be done to protect the Federation. They are not willing to go as far as need to be gone. You have already threatened a very powerful goal, or legate of the True Way. The reports he has sent about you have been, I would say, flattering.
I see.
All we would ask is that when the time came that we needed something, consider what we ask for and see if it's something you're willing to do. That's it. I'm not asking you to make any guarantees. Just listen when we ask.
Oh, man. Spots are itching so bad right here. Oh, good Lord. Victor would probably see Rosrin actually, like, she probably had seen him well enough to know that he actually looks a little disconcerted, which is not, usual for Rosrin.
Well,
yeah, Victor, are you moving that direction?
I don't know if I'm moving that direction with haste. I'm still probably standing at someone's table asking if our Horgans can go on a play date, and but I'm watching, and once I understand that a dampening field has gone up, Because I would hope. I mean, again, I can
Yeah,
roll for this.
it takes you a couple of seconds to like. Yeah, it takes you a little bit to catch on to what's going on, but then you're like, oh, okay.
And so I'm gonna whether it's like down at my hip or in my pocket or whatever, I'm going to preferably beep it and go and probably move away from the table a little bit and go, Commander Charlie, kill. I don't know if he can kill the connection that I had with Rosrin.
No, he'd have to have access to physical
but
access.
I just go. Comms are being dampened.
Can I get insight and security? It's going to be a difficulty of 2 from you, Victra. Yeah, none of your stuff.
Can I use one of those momentum, y'all?
You absolutely can.
I was asking my crewmates. Thanks.
I would also say that value protecting the crew is worth the risk. Might
oh, nice.
Come into
Yeah,
play
if I
here.
could do that, I can.
Now, I would say, so because I reread the rules, using your determination counts as a dice. And so once you use that, the next dice you have to use 2 momentum to buy. So you can only buy a total of 3 dice, and that determination counts as a die in those 3.
That is rolled 1.
Yeah, that is rolled a 1, so you get a crit on it, that's fine. But like, I just wanted to let you know that that's a thing.
I actually prefer using the determination and not buying another die.
That's fine.
So that's 2 successes alone there. And that complication range is still 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I did get so I got 1 more success, not a complication. I rolled an 18. I just want to make sure it hadn't increased.
There are 6 Bajorans in this restaurant. You didn't catch it right away, but now from this angle and the fact that the dampening field is up and you're kind of more heightened and they are clearly watching that table, there are 6 other Bajorans in the restaurant. And they are all very clearly watching that table. Like, they're trying to hide it a little bit, but your spidey sense just went off real hard and now you're close.
Sure.
You have another momentum just kind of hanging there because we're cap. If you want to ask any other questions, you're more than welcome to.
Is there any way that I can perhaps perceive... probably not. I either want to see if it looks like they're watching as backup, or are they watching because this person might be someone else that might be thwarting them. But if I can't tell that, which I probably can't, I want to see if any of them seem to be reaching for weapons or anything under the table.
None of them are reaching for weapons. A couple of them are clearly carrying something that you can see an outline of, but you can't tell on the others. And they seem to be watching Rosrin to see if Rosrin is going to react, how Rosrin's going.
Okay.
If Rosrin were to react violently, they are prepared to do something. But the gentleman at the table is acting calm as a cucumber.
Okay.
As a Klingon cucumber. Just a really spiky cucumber.
Just a really gnarly looking cucumber.
Yeah.
I am Victra is not going to make her way to the table. I am instead going to perhaps try to circle around to one of the tables of one of the Bajorans that looks like they're carrying something.
Okay.
And not like, again, I'm just kind of like, with my organ. I'm like, thank you. Maybe next time. And I drift off to the next one.
So Rosrin, he stated all that.
All right. Well, Rosrin's thought process at this point. Okay, so Danny's fully aware of what Section 31 is.
Mm-hmm.
Rosrin as fall, I imagine he's heard maybe deep dark rumors or
there was
like
suggestions that during the Dominion War, that Section 31 may have introduced a virus into the changeling population to kill them. So they're perfectly okay with genocide.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So Rosrin understands enough to know that he's in a very dangerous situation here. at least. A very precarious situation. So he is going to, as very calmly, because he's like, I don't want to burn any bridges now. I need to get out of this conversation as calmly as possible so I can figure out what to do. And he's just going to say, I will consider it. And as quiet a voice as he can, or as calm, reschool himself, his surprise, and say, I will consider it.
Good. Now, I unfortunately am going to have to cut our date short.
And Rosie internally, it's not a date.
It turns out that I have to go attempt to kill everyone on the planet, and you and to stop me. So I'll see you in a little bit, I'm sure. He kind of wipes his mouth, sets his napkin down, smiles, and stands up to leave.
God, okay. Alright, Roswin will get up and try to clock as quickly as he can where Victra is.
Okay. Give me a security fitness. Or no, not, yeah, fitness security. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
difficulty's gonna be a 1, but also like the higher you get, the more I'm gonna give you. And we just already capped, so it won't matter.
Okay, so that would be, let's see. So he's trying to move towards Victra quickly, correct?
Yeah.
Is that what you're having me roll for? Or
No, it's gonna be a matter of whether or not you notice the other.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So let's go. I'll take 2 successes. Awesome.
Fantastic. So you see Victor. Yeah. Victor's moving towards a Bajoran who's clearly got a phaser in his jacket, and you notice 5 other Bajorans also in the room. Multiples of them have phasers on them. Phasers on Ryza are unheard of. Like, this is supposed to be the safest place ever.
And I would have told Rosrin that about their Type 1 that they're packing. I would have been like, keep that under wraps. That is a no-go.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, Roslyn will move towards Victra then. He doesn't want her to get hurt, so it's going to be his action, is keep moving towards Victra.
The Bajoran that I am nearby, since I have clocked the other Bajorans, are any of them watching the Bajoran that I am nearby?
Not directly. I would say that he's in the peripheral of multiples, but no one's directly watching him.
Then I would like to, just a second. I want to, I'm an idiot. I want to unarmed strike, and I want to punch this guy in the temple.
Okay. So I don't want to devolve this into combat, and I'm not saying you can't do that.
Sure.
I'm saying
Sure.
I just don't
necessarily want it to be overt. I just kind of want to incapacitate them.
Yeah, I just don't want to. We don't need to go into a bunch of rolls for 2 of you.
Okay,
against
cool.
6 or 5, 7. I don't know. But you kind of just stumble a little bit and clock him with the Horgan.
Nice. Okay.
and embrace him in such a way that is.
Oh.
and you say very clearly out loud, "Yes, I'm seeking Maharon."
Yeah.
Can you roll me a presence and command?
Sure.
Difficulty's going to be a 2. Or no, difficulty's going to be a 1 because you're on Ryza. Everybody's here for banging.
That's right. Exactly. Everybody's going to know this. Let's see here. Well, we got a 4 and an 8 under 12. So yeah, it's 2 successes.
Okay, so you clock him good, and one of the Bajorans looks at you and is like, "What?" But then all the other Bajorans get up, not at the same time, but staggered. All of them wipe their mouths, put the napkins down, and follow that guy out.
Mm-hmm.
It's real kind of creepy. It's like cult movement kind of creepy.
Yep. Yep.
And that's it. Like as they're moving out, and as you're like holding onto this guy, Rosrin, you're like, why is Victor like making out with? What's going on?
I think Rosrin would suspect that Victor knows what she's doing and wouldn't go off mission.
If Rosrin is nearby and this guy is knocked out, I'm basically going to be like, I'm going to kind of beckon you over.
Yeah. Rosrin's gonna go over and as quickly as he's can just say, "We need to go. That's the guy. That's the."
Do we want to keep this one for questioning?
He looks down.
I mean, I'm holding him.
Yeah. Yes.
He's just moving his head around a little bit.
like he's
necking right here in the Romulan
yeah,
restaurant. What?
Saucy.
Listen, it's not the first time you guys have seen it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not even the worst. Yeah, not even.
This is not the worst makeout session Victor's had, I promise.
No.
You could have the Concorde beam him directly to the brig.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Rosrin would like to go in pursuit.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
if I can get this one beamed out, then yeah, I would go with.
I'd say you probably have a tricorder, so you like put it in his pocket and tell him to lock onto the tricorder, and have them beam that up. So he goes with it, and then the two of you are going in pursuit after the. We're gonna say 5 gentlemen because I don't remember what the number I said, but that's okay.
Calling Charlie, calling the commander at the same time.
They have gone out the back and are moving through a very thick, like foliage area. Charlie, you get the beep from Rosrin.
Okay. I haven't found the galaxy looking for, so as I'm sneaking, I just Charlie.
Yeah. Commander, we're in pursuit of some Bajorans who seem to be the ones we are looking for. And he'll give like a location of where they're at, which he probably knew because Rosrin would have told him like what restaurant or whatever.
Yeah. That is like half an hour away from you at high-speed train. It is also about 3 seconds away from you at site-to-site transport.
Well, Charlie was actually thinking where, are there any side-to-side transporter stations here, or should I contact the...
You would either need to contact the Concorde, which might be a little difficult to talk your way through that, or you can contact the Runabout and make it do it.
I'll contact the Runabout.
Okay, so it's going to be a reason and science. Difficulty is going to be a 3.
Wow.
Well, you're doing it from your comm badge and a tricorder to tell it, like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but you also have 6 momentum. You got plenty.
Yeah, use a momentum.
Yeah.
Or 3, whatever you need.
That's 3.
Fantastic. So yeah, you pop away from where you're at. As Rosrin and Victor are like headed towards the back door, you appear real next to them, and the 3 of you are off into the jungle to chase down these Bajorans. So I'm gonna need. We're gonna go with fitness and security. This is gonna be a group effort. We're looking for 15 successes before we get to the end of 3 rounds. If we don't have 15 successes at the end of 3 rolling rounds, they will have gotten away.
May I use my martial arts as we're running and leaping and things?
Yeah, why not? You can parkour. Yeah, we'll call that martial arts.
Parkour!
You have to scream parkour the whole time, though. And it's trill parkour, so you have to scream trill parkour.
Yeah, how do
trill parkour?
How do you say parkour and trill, Danny?
I don't know. I'm not.
So let's have you guys. So everybody roll fitness and security. If you want to buy dice, let me know. We're looking for 15 successes.
I'm okay at this. I'm probably not gonna buy some right now. So.
I will buy 1, actually, if I can.
Yeah. Is that 2 complications?
Just 2.
No. Roxy, tell me. The 19 and 20. Is it 220s?
No, it's one complication and a failure.
There are rerolls out there,
It's-
by the way.
Oh, there are. Thank you. I'm gonna use that. Can that work on both?
You
die
can
or
roll.
just-
You can roll both dice. I let Charlie just re-roll one because that's the only one.
Okay,
needed
that's
to
better.
re-roll.
Those
Alright,
are
I
both
got-
successes.
How many rerolls do we have?
I think we have one
We
more.
had 3.
Yeah, and Charlie
Alright,
used one.
'cause
This is 2.
I
That'd
would
be
like
3.
to use that too because I rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And I will take that as a crit instead. Awesome. So that's
Okay.
3 successes for me.
So that's 7 that you've got that first round. So we'll go ahead and roll for the second round. Anybody want to buy any dice? There are no
gonna
more
buy
rerolls
one.
until chat buys one here in a second.
Well, we got 2 in chat just
Oh.
now. 2
Oh.
rerolls. I would like to buy a momentum or use a momentum if I can.
Leaving the athletic characters to use the momentum. I'm at one.
That makes
and one
sense.
additional one. So
What now?
contributed 3 so far. Just 1 this round.
Okay.
That is. I'm gonna go ahead and let this one ride. That is 1 complication and 2 successes.
Okay.
I will take a crit, so 2.
So that puts you at 12. I need everybody to pick up 4 effect dice. On a 1, you take 1 stress. On 2, you take 2 stress. And on an effect, you take 1 stress.
All right. What was that again? 1.
So just roll 4 of the dice. If it's a 1, I'm sorry. Yeah, if it's, are you rolling the actual effect dice or you're rolling the regular d6s?
I'm rolling d6s.
So on a 1, it's 1 damage. On a 2, it's 2 damage. On a 5 and a 6, it's 1 damage. Just stress. As you're running through the jungle, it's kind of knocking you about. Rosrin, or I'm sorry, Victra, you
I
you
rolled 1
step.
effect.
You rolled 1 effect.
I rolled 5 damage with 1 effect.
Oh, okay. So 5 damage means an injury.
Okay.
You can spend momentum to avoid an injury. Did that go?
We have
I
4,
just-
y'all. Can I do that or?
I need to use a piece of momentum. Then I took 5.
Yikes.
I can take the injury. It's okay. I'd rather.
I just read.
We both use momentum.
You
I
both
mean, we
can
do
use it.
have.
We got
do
20.
have 4. Yeah.
Prefer we not, because we're getting into the end phase, so I prefer we're at 100%.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's going to be 1 for each of you to avoid those. So that'll put you down to 2 momentum.
Yes.
So you still take the 5 stress. You just don't take the injury.
Okay. Cool.
So, and then you guys give me 1 more roll. You only need 3 more successes. Do you want to spend any of the last 2 momentum you have?
I think
I
I'm
would
gonna
like
just go with the 2.
I
So,
think I'm going to take 1 of the momentum, so
Okay.
we'll have
Okay.
1 left.
Charlie, are you buying a
Alright.
momentum? Or using a
No.
momentum? No. You just got 1 success. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and we just got a momentum from chat too.
Fantastic.
Yes! 9, 2, and 11. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
This was fitness and security. Okay, I got 1 crit, so 2.
Yeah, you are way over. So you guys catch them, and as you're kind of coming up on them, you find yourselves at a small ship of Orion origin. It is definitely not one of the ones that was stolen, but it's probably just a small craft that was purchased somewhere. As you run up on them, the Concorde beams down a security team. And kind of like isolates the group now that you've kind of all converged on them. The leader of the security team looks over at Rosrin and says, "Sir," and he's like a commander, like 3 pips. He says, "Sir, orders."
He's going to say restrain them and search them for and search their vehicle for chemical weapons.
They go through. One of the security officers sticks his head out and says, "Commander Charlie, you're part of the science division, right?
Yes.
Could you come look at this?"
I go and look.
Yeah. So you are brought inside. There's some sort of chemical reaction happening in like a clear tube on its side.
Shoot it.
And there's a readout there, and he says, "Honestly, sir, I'm just a petty officer. I have no idea what this is. If you could let me know what I'm looking at, give me a reason and science roll. It's difficulty of 1.
Just got one.
These are the chemicals that you're looking for. This is ready to spread, and there is enough here that it would hit everything it needs to. It looks like they mixed it here, though, not on your ships.
That would mean that there was probably more on the planet.
Possibly.
I share that.
Okay. He says, I'll report back to the lieutenant. Thank you, sir. He heads out, and he says, Lieutenant Rosrin, we've verified, Commander Charlie verified that there's a vat of the chemicals that have been mixed and ready to use. As we were briefed, this is exactly what we were looking for.
Excellent. Can it be deactivated? Can it be made?
Or
Charlie,
neutralized.
it's stable as it is. Like, it could be flushed. That's not a problem. But right now, it's stable. It's just you wouldn't want it getting out. It also would have to be aerosol or aerated. I don't know. It'd be
Add air
used
to
as an
it?
aerosol. Right now, it's a liquid form.
Okay.
It would have to be atomized.
There you go, atomized. Thank you.
Okay, based off this compound, based on what I know about it, it'd be stored in like a cool place or a warm place, or
It doesn't matter. It's being climate controlled inside that vat.
okay. Can I neutralize it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and they can bring some science officers down to do that.
Yeah.
Bring some
The biggest
science
concern
people.
is going to be, containing it so that if something happens, it won't,
Leak
Yeah.
everywhere and kill us.
Yeah, I mean, they got to have, containment hazardous, procedures for that.
Rosalind, are you letting the security team do all of the searching?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Can I
he's-
get an insight security roll from you, Victor? Or what are you doing? Difficulty's gonna be 2, Rosalind.
Okay.
I'm standing around and looking important. If Captain Takei did not come down, or does
No, he
he
did not.
ever? No, okay. I'm going to kind of just keep an eye on in case I need to hand-to-hand combat somebody. But
Sure.
really, I'm just keeping my flowy, drapey outfit out of the mud.
Okay. You got
2
2
successes.
successes. Fantastic. As you're going through you find a couple of pads. They are Cardassian in design. You do not read Cardassian, but you get it translated pretty quickly, and it is essentially proof from the other side. Their plans worked out exactly how to combine the chemicals, everything that they would need to do what they're doing.
All right.
You also find
Evidence.
You also find a note on the pad that they're to release it when the agent from the Federation shows up and gives them the go-ahead.
No.
Yes.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, we're
did-
confiscating this, and Rosalind definitely pointed out to Victra and Charlie as soon as he could.
So, Rosalind, while you're inside, Charlie, you're probably still inside, just like making sure everything's okay with it. That it's nothing's gonna happen here suddenly and confusingly. Victor, what you watch happen is that the gentleman that went to dinner with Rosrin, who we're calling Kay, not to be confused with Captain to Kay. Sorry about that. That's my fault.
Kevin.
He moves to grab one of the phasers on the hip of one of the guys. They're carrying rifles, but he moves to grab the hand phaser. And there is a brief struggle. Do you want to try and intervene?
I absolutely want to try and intervene.
Fantastic. So this is going to be security and fitness. It'll be your regular attack for security.
Could I argue for daring?
Sure, why not? Daring and security sounds great.
Cool. I'm going to use a reroll. I think we have one left, don't we? Yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
we have a reroll. Okay, that's better. That is 1 success.
Okay.
I don't remember if you gave me a total or not.
I have to roll.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay. Was that 1 success you didn't crit? Because you have hand-to-hand combat.
I did not crit.
As you move to like grab hold of him and stop him from what he's doing, he like judo flips you over him. I got 4 successes. Like it doesn't hurt you so much as it just moves you out. And then in a swift motion, he pulls the hand phaser, and before he can fire it, 3 of the security team shoot him, and he's dead.
Oh, wow.
One of the security officers comes over and like offers you a hand to help you up. The other men are like fully restrained, like space zip ties. I don't know what they use.
Yeah, they had little handcuffs.
They are immediately beamed up to the brig. A team of scientists are beamed down to start disassembling the compound, with Charlie overseeing it. You guys spend several hours kind of clearing everything up. The captain comes down eventually once there's no threat, and you hear him grumble about first officers overstepping what they can do, and not letting him down on the. But then he comes up to you, Rosemary, and he says, "Well, it looks like you did good work here. I'm going to put in a commendation notice for all 3 of you."
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Commander Charlie, if you ever find yourself with some time and you want to spend it on from there, Rosrin, if you ever want to train my chief of security to be as good as you are, always welcome. Victor, please don't fly my ship. And you see what you have never seen on this man before, and you can't believe what you're seeing, but it's a wry smile.
And this is Takei?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Victor's ruse suspicion that Takei was the secret agent that they were waiting for has not bled into Victra yet. So, because she saw a smile and she's like, "Oh, he does like me."
So it is about a week later. You guys went through the rest of Ryza. Your vacation was way less complicated. You realize that having a Horgan around is either the greatest thing ever or the worst idea. And Victor probably leaves one next to Rosrin just one day while she's reading, just, to mess with him. But the rest of the trip goes well. Rosrin, you get your reading in. You feel pretty solid on the information. Victor, you get to hear this cover band several nights. They're kind of growing on you, making you feel like maybe it's time to, reach out to your dad and see if he's around, and even if it's just a chat.
What was the lead singer of this band? Were they human? Bolian?
They were human. Human.
Okay. Victra absolutely starts to flirt with this guy before she
yeah. No, he is definitely seeking Jamaha.
And the Horgan is like sitting there in the next stool, and I still order it drinks. Yeah.
Charlie, you get to study whatever you want to study, whether we're talking about more warp field dynamics with the Cardassian. You guys you enjoy your week. You get back to the Serenitis. Everything went fine there. It's a couple of days after. Rosrin, you're kind of alone in this security office, finalizing a report, and your communicator, your screen beeps and turns on. And sitting in a chair in like a black Section 31 uniform is Kay.
Interesting.
I hope that our conversation left you with intentions of considering my offer. I hope that what happened afterwards didn't dissuade you from what we discussed.
Well, at the very least, I'm impressed that I'm talking to you right now.
Section 31 has a lot of tools at our disposal. Tools that will make your starship safer. Things we would be happy to pass along.
Oh, you're just hitting Rosrin's buttons. Ah, god damn it. Okay.
So, when we ask, I hope that you will listen.
I always try to keep my ears open.
Excellent. Well, Lieutenant, I hope you have a fine time in the Gamma Quadrant and find yourself in plenty of exciting situations.
Thank you.
And your screen goes black.
Rajan is contemplative. I think he needs to ponder this new situation.
Do you report any of this to any of the crew?
See, that's what I need to decide. Can I take some time to think about how Rosrin's going to handle that?
Because this is a good time for us to kind of wrap up the story. I had fun. Did you guys have fun?
That was fun.
I had a blast.
I mean, Charlie got to
If a Delton is good at anything, it's having fun.
It's true. Hey, listen, we've got shows coming up this week. Tomorrow is Leaps and Bounties at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's Danny is running that. Roxy and John and Michael and Alla are all on that. It's a piratey good time. On
it's
Thursday,
called No One Expects.
Oh, no one expects. There you go. The penultimate episode of Growing Shadows is Thursday. You should definitely come out for that. It's been several years in building to this point, and it's going to be a good lead up to the ultimate episode next week. And then next Monday, John is running the Voyages of episode 3 of season 2, Falling Between the Stars. That should be a good time. Not going to tell you guys what it's about, but the USS Rhode Island. Ooh, so that's exciting. I'm excited about
it. The ship is bigger than the entire state.
Wow.
Probably. I'm not lying.
So we will see you guys all next week, and thank you so much for coming out and being in chat and having a good time talking about what Deltans do with organs. Thank you guys. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.